Hey, good morning everyone. My name is Vipin Kumar and I am back with another exciting video how to set up Docker registry by using Gitlab open source project. In this video, we will learn how to install and configure Gitlab registry service, how to configure Docker environment to use private Docker registry, and finally, we are going to test this registry by pulling or pushing images. What is a GitLab? GitLab is a single application for the entire software development lifecycle, from project planning and source code management to CI/CD monitoring and security, etc. You can learn more about GitLab, what service is offering by the GitLab. It offers from manage, plan, create, verify, package, secure, release, configure, monitor and defend. I am not going to be explain in deep about the GitLab. You can read more about GitLab on their website. GitLab offers two services. One is manage GitLab and second is GitLab open source project. So we are going to use GitLab open source project to install GitLab services on my machine. I'm using Ubuntu 18 by using the Vagrant machine management. First of all, let's download and install all the dependency for GitLab project. Going to install curl, OpenSSH and postfix. Postfix is a open source mail server. So we are going to configure the postfix mail server. Say OK. General type of the mail server configuration. Internet site is OK. System mail name. Use the domain name and click on OK. All the GitLab project dependency has been downloaded. Now let's configure the GitLab repository for the service, package and tools that is required to running GitLab project on my machine. GitLab provided a shell script to configure the repository for their project. You can read more about this repository before running on your environment. Once you review that script and you are okay with this script, then go ahead and run it on your machine. Now we can go ahead and install GitLab Community Edition. So we are going to install GitLab Community Edition by using this command. It is going to take some time, depends on your internet connectivity, because it is going to download all the packages that is required for GitLab. GitLab successfully installed with default configuration on your machine. Let's perform some more activities before using GitLab container registry. Since we are going to use OpenSSL for our Docker registry URL, let's create a folder to store SSL certificate in GitLab. Let's create a folder inside GitLab. Let's assign some permissions. Now let's create a OpenSSL certificate for Docker registry URL inside this folder. I'm using the OpenSSL to generate SSL certificate for URL called registry.wipin.com. You may leave blank. Now give the common name on which you want to set up SSL certificate. In my condition, it is register.wipin.com. SSL certificate has been installed for register.wipin.com, and I am going to use this URL or SSL certificate to set up the Docker container registry. Now let's assign some of the permission on these certificates so that GitLab can access and use it. Now it's time to configure the GitLab for Docker container registry. GitLab use chaff to configure the GitLab product on the machine, and GitLab use the gitlab.ruby file to store all the configuration for the GitLab. This is the configuration file, and we are going to enable or disable some of the services in this file. So let's configure this file to enable Docker container registry. I have downloaded gitlab.rb file on my local machine and opened in Notepad to configure. I will show you some of the path and attribute that's needed to be adjusted to use for Docker container registry. Line number 13, external URL. Configure this URL to access GitLab on the browser. I am using the machine host name to access the URL for the GitLab. Next one is registry external URL on line number 504. Give the URL on which you want to set up your registry. In my case is registry.wipin.com, and it is SSL enabled. Next one, GitLab Rails. Give the path where GitLab registry is going to upload or use images. Next one is registry enabled equal to true. This is going to enable registry service on GitLab product. Next one is give the SSL certificate location, and we uploaded our SSL certificate under GitLab SSL directory. You might miss this option in default gitlab.rb file. You can add both the lines in there. And last one is GitLab Rails equal to true. Once you configure your gitlab.rb file, you can upload on the server and use it. Let me save it and upload on my server. Let me rename the existing one and replace with updated one. I have replaced with the updated one. Now let's make some changes in host file for DNS entry. Now let's reconfigure the GitLab with updated gitlab.rb file. Okay, GitLab reconfigured. Now let's try to access GitLab on the browser on local machine. Let's make some changes in the local etc file to access GitLab. Okay, we made required changes in etc file. So go ahead and save it. Okay, now we can access GitLab on the browser and it is asking to change your password. Now login into GitLab with default user, and default user is root and password is same which you reset just now. Okay, we are inside of the GitLab. Let's create a project and I'm going to keep this project as a private project. Let's go ahead and click on create project. Now you can see here in the left hand side multiple services has been enabled or configured for the demo project. But at this moment we are more interested about Docker or container repository. So click on registry and you can see here how to use container registry. First we require to log in registry.wipin.com and then we can push or pull images on this container registry. It is not simple, just like we require to configure the Docker host to use this container registry. So login on your Docker host machine. This is my Docker host machine. Since our certificate is a self-signed certificate, hence we require to make self-signed certificate as a trust certificate. For that, please follow the steps. I am on my Docker host machine and create a folder called cert.d, and under this create a folder with your self certificate name. Folder has been created. I am inside of the folder registry.wipin.com. We require to copy cert and key from the GitLab registry machine. We required copy both the certificate from here to Docker host machine. I successfully copied cert and key file from GitLab machine to Docker host machine. Now we require to reload the Docker service to make the changes. Okay, now let's try to log in on GitLab registry. It successfully connected our newly created private Docker container registry on URL registry.wipin.com. I am connecting the registry with root username and password. I received the error message from daemon missing client certificate. Let's troubleshoot it. Let's try to make entry in etc file for registry and GitLab machine. Now let's try to log in once again. Still we are receiving the error. It is very common problem with OpenSSL certificate. If you search this error message on Google, you will get a plenty of solution of this problem. To fix the problem, please follow the step. So what do we need here? We require to remove the key file from here. Okay. And second step, we require to make another copy of the cert file and rename it with ca.crt. Let's do it. Now let's go ahead and reload the Docker daemon service. Let's try to log in now. You can use same username and password for Gitlab registry. Great. Now error gone and I am successfully able to log in on Gitlab Docker Container Registry or Private Docker Registry. Now let's try to push some of the Docker images on this private registry. So let me log out from this registry and download some of the Docker image from Docker Hub. Okay, now you can see here I have downloaded a BG image from Docker Hub on the Docker host. Now we are going to push or upload this image on private Docker registry. So look at the instruction on the GitLab page. Look at the instruction. We have successfully connected. Second step is saying that once you are in, you are free to create or upload a container image using the common build and push command. So if you are going to build the image from the file, you can use this step. Otherwise, you can use this command to upload your image on this registry. You can also use different image name. GitLab support up to 3 levels of image name. Examples are here. Let's use these instructions and example to push image on registry. Let's log in once again on Docker registry. Let's tag a existing image for GitLab Docker registry. So list down Docker image on this machine. Let's take this image. This is the tag ID of the existing image. And take the example root demo. Okay, so here is demo. I am creating a new image with name registry.weapon.com and demo latest. This image is based on existing BG box image. Let's go ahead and create new one. Let's make a list again. This image has been created as per the example. Let's try to upload or push this image on GitLab container registry. Let's try to push this image. So now you can see here it successfully upload or push on registry.weapon.com. Let's try to verify on Docker private registry page. Go ahead and refresh the container registry page. Now you can see here the image has been uploaded on the container registry. Now let's try to pull this image from this container. Let's remove the images from this machine. Let's verify. Okay, no image available on this machine now. Let's try to download or pull the image from Docker Container Registry. Okay, so we tried to pull or download image from the Docker Container Registry and we successfully able to download or pulled the image from our newly created private Docker registry. Let's verify. It's verified that our newly created private container registry is working fine. So you can use the Gitlab open source project not only for Docker container registry. It can be used for the code repository, project tracking, CI CD implementation. It offers many services, but in this video that's all. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.